Smart 24, driving business.
Yes, well, we're back from the break. It's still watching Smart Means Business. I'm Andrew Barege. I'm here with Masika Time as we are driving you through all the way. Well, still to remind you before we're proceeding to our business tips and quotes, I'd love to remind you that the markets on the Zebra platform are going to be on anytime from now. And to participate, it's quite very easy and simple. Start 92 hash. You simply the code, which will enable you to participate and buy government bonds and securities for a fee of just 15,000 Uganda shillings. Now the markets are going to open at exactly 8:15 a.m. and run all the way to 3:15 p.m. That is East African time, and this is effective Monday up to Friday, apart from the weekends or the public holidays when these markets cannot be accessed. But of course, away from that, you have the rest of the days to capitalize and make money. Something which I believe it's quite key and it's remaining for your growth and development. Zabu, it says my money, my future, and Aldex East Africa tells you, well, you got to do something new for yourself. Remember, it is 2023. Well, at this point in time, let's get into our business tips and quotes as we kickstart off our day as vibrant entrepreneurs as we get inspired. Well, believe that you can, and you're already halfway there. Of course, you have to see yourself there before you become something. One of my best preachers that I love most, okay, it's not my best preacher, I will not say that, he's a preacher, I respect him, it's called Joel Austin. When he was, there was a stadium where I think, I don't know whether his church is still there. It's called the Houston Rockets. There was a basketball team that was called the Houston Rockets. They used to use a certain pitch, but later they upgraded to a better pitch, and so they handed over the pitch to any person that was actually willing to come and take it over. Now, I remember Joel Austin at the time he was in his first service, and one of the journalists came and told him, how does it feel to have a church in the Houston Rocket Stadium? And he simply said, well, according to his response, he was trying to say that he has always been preaching in this stadium for over and over times. He didn't consider the first time he preached into that stadium as the first time of his appearance, but he has always, even when he had his church somewhere else, he used to envision himself preach at the Houston Rocket Stadium. So literally, this is what this quote is trying to tell you. Believe that you can make it, and you're already halfway there. You know, you don't have to first see something. If you believe yourself as a business person, you want to be this entrepreneur, first see yourself there as you already are. Then you are moving towards. You're moving towards what you've already seen. So it's the future is like the past. If you live the future like the past, then it's going to be easy for you to navigate through, because you will know what to do, other than having a future which is some sort of unknown and imaginary. You're not uncertain, and that's why so many times people in life who know the day they'll get their first job, the day they'll leave this job, the day they'll go to this business, to what level it is that, well, it's all an initiative you take to see yourself there, and you can get these revelations of who you will be to be, and it will seem like a dream, a past, something that you've lived before. And actually, when you go into Albert Einstein's theory of existence, he believes that the future, the present, and the past coexist in one. It's a one timeline system. It's only a being that is out of that timeline, that exists out of time, of course, whom we know that is God, that can do that. But of course, when you have that perspective, well, you can really be so small. Then we had our other tip that said something to do with being organized and time survey. In other words, be time conscious. Time is something that everybody has. The wealthy have, the people you look up to with their accomplishments have the same time. I mean, you have the 24 hours, we all have the same.
Yeah.
And as somebody said, actually, some people don't have 24 hours. They have 48 hours, some have 100 hours. So the more hours you have, the more richer you become.
Yeah, and regarding that quote, actually, there's a time I was having a conversation with a border rider, and he said, no, I was asking him, why don't you like wake up earlier by 6 you're on the road, or by maybe 5:30? It's like, I'm not on pressure. I'm like, what kind of, in my head I was like, what kind of mentality is this? You're waking up at 10 because you feel like, just because you employ yourself, you're at liberty to wake up at 10. The money you get, that's it. So I'm like, why not wake up in the morning, earlier in the morning, and maybe, do work 8 hours and then go back home, and someone is telling you, I'm at leisure, I can wake up anytime
I want.
I mean, time is very cautious. The time you spent in the bed sleeping, someone has already woken up and they've made $1 million just within those few hours.
Very possible.
Yes, very possible. And that is why mostly the rich people have less time of sleep. Okay.
But of course, when you get more hours, the thing is, when you get more hours, you'll have more time for yourself. Because you can only lose sleep when you are you strictly have 24 hours. But if you have 48 hours a day, of course, it's not maybe enough. But if you have there are people that actually have about 10,000 hours. So he is at liberty to wake up at any time he feels like. But there is a price of also having those hours. No? Of course, simply, and you could be trying to understand, what does it mean to have more hours than other people? Well, if I have a business and I employ you, I'm buying your time. So you have added your time to my hours. If you're 10 people, those are 24 hours. That means I have 240 hours on me, getting on your time and all that.
But then you don't have to entirely depend on just because you have employees, you have to wake up, come in late. I mean, you have to lead by example. Why would you come in late, yet you're supposed to be up early and prepare.
But you've already laid a foundation for that.
You've already laid a foundation for that, but of course,
you're not going to.
There is a need. You don't have to sleep for 8 hours.
Okay, let me ask you. People who retire at 45, how do they do it? At 35, haven't you heard of them?
Yeah.
So how do they do it?
I mean,
do you know what retiring means? Retiring means you are off this daily duty of saying, I'm supposed to be here at this time. So you move at your own pace. So I'm at liberty to say that I'm not going to step out of office.
I know it depends.
That's what it means.
It depends on where your source of income is coming in from. If you have already established yourself, then maybe you have to sit and wait. But looking at the way we are,
of course, it doesn't mean that you entirely cut yourself off from your duty. What I simply mean is that I may decide that this week I'm not stepping at office and I'm going for a vacation. Because I have established my people, I've built them, they can run the thing. That's what it means. So you rest in peace. Of course, not dying, but just a rest. Yeah, so that is it regarding our inspirational moment for this point in time. But of course, yeah, it's very key. Time is a crucial thing, and it's very important to see yourself succeed before you actually do succeed. Yeah, now with the social media trends, there we have something here to do. I'm seeing Uganda Manufacturers Association, 29th Uganda International Trade Fair, and of course the UG Trade Fair 2023 sponsors media launch happening today. That is at 10 a.m. at the Omar Showgrounds.
Go.
Yeah.
So we saw Total sponsoring in, we have Vision Group, we have Stanbic Bank. And of course, this is Mama Kampala at 21, and she says UMA Expo shall start on October the 3rd to October the 10th at the UMA Showgrounds, the Gogo, and it is set to spotlight innovation, world-class manufacturing excellence for local and regional manufacturers. This is a time for you to showcase the kind of thing you've been working on for the past, you never know.
Well, we see whether you're being busy.
This is a platform where you get to
out.
showcase, to show the world the kind of ability you have, getting more customers. So I believe it's a good one. This is Businja Jose. And she says the 29th Ugandan International Trade Fair by UMA will showcase innovation and world-class manufacturing excellency for local and regional manufacturers. Appreciation to the official sponsors, that hashtag trade, UG Trade Fair 2023, right there. Now this is Social Outcast 49, and he says special thanks to the key sponsors of the UG Trade Fair 2023, Stanbic Bank, Total Energies, Vision Group, whose generous contribution will ensure the seamless execution of this trade fair. I believe this is a place actually to go to. I will personally go to this fair because it has a lot of things. You can learn from a lot of things. You get to know the products we have as Uganda.
Yeah.
Because there are many things we do not know that are happening within the market of Uganda. So this is this one says, wow, this is, I can't. This is, he says 29th Ugandan Trade Fair is launch is happening today, and this year's theme is driving manufacturing and trade efficiency through digital transformation and innovation. Digital transformation.
Yeah, interesting. So last time I think I went to one and I saw Indians were there, Egyptians were there, showcasing their, I mean, it was a great experience seeing different cultures bring in what they do. Of course, they operate in Uganda, but that is a way of transferring skill to Ugandans too. Yeah,
no, this is SDI, the Science, Technology, Innovation Secretary, and he says as earlier today it was a media launch at the UMA head offices, Lugogo, of this year's trade fair. And of course, she says as the SDI Secretariat, we are not just here as a platinum sponsors. We are here to celebrate a dynamic partnership with manufacturers who turn our innovative ideas into reality.
Yeah. Yes, it's the trade fair.
Science, technology, and innovation.
Yeah, science, technology, innovation. Yeah, we actually promising.
Yeah.
In terms of innovation, probably let's hope for consistency and steady progress.
And this is Atlin Mubidu, and she says the major objective of the the trade fair is to showcase the digital transformation, that is to exhibit and demonstrate how businesses and industries in Uganda are adopting digital technologies to enhance their operations, increase efficiency, and stay competitive in the global market. Jesus Christ.
Global competitiveness
Yeah.
I mean, global. But of course, before we think global, it's
Even Africa?
Africa would be a good fast option to explore. Yeah.
That is still in mobile. I believe it will turn out well. I mean, there are very many of innovations that have come up.
Yeah.
Since.
Quite a number of them.
Yeah.
And they're going to be showcased, and it's time to see whether the time you told your friends that I'm busy, you are actually busy by what you actually put out there, what you showcase will speak out more. Now, away from that, as we head into our other conversation in here, of course, yesterday the Ghana Revenue Authority released a performance report with the target which was given, it was given a target of about 25 trillion Ugandan shillings. But according to the Uganda Revenue Authority Commissioner General, that is John Musinguzi, they actually registered a remarkable 100.23% when it came to performance. And guess what? They had a surplus of about 57.48 billion Ugandan shillings in terms of collection. Now, we see that in the financial year 2022-2023, the Uganda Revenue Authority had a net revenue that is target of about 25 trillion. 25 billion. However, the net revenue collections, that is for the same period, exceeded the target, and of course, and amounted to about 200 and about 5 billion, representing 100.25. That is increased performance with a surplus of 57.48 billion. Now, of course, yesterday during the Revenue Performance Press Conference, the URA Commissioner General, that is the John Musinguzi, further notes that this year they recorded a significant revenue growth. That is from 16.40% compared to the previous year, of course, which he attributed to stable and resilient economic performance and enhanced administrative measures and the cooperation of patriotic taxpayers. But of course, still in that notice, Ugandans have been asked to pay their taxes. They've been urged to pay the taxes in full, like how they ought to be. I remember when I was starting up the show, I told you some of the key attributes in here were due to the freeze. First of all, because of recent policy that was, of course, put out there. There is no, if you can't do business with any government institute unless you have an freeze. So with that effective, definitely most of the companies, because we know that government is the biggest sponsor when it comes to giving business, is the biggest business provider for any people there. So by all means, for you to tap into that income, into that revenue, you're going to be, of course, forced to go and get an freeze. So you can get to see all those measures that are being put in place have also been key when it comes to, to revenue collection, increasing to how it's increasing today. Now, over the past 5 years, there has been a consistent increase that is in net revenue collections. And now, however, in the fiscal year 2019-2020, growth was a bit slower due, of course, to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. But the most recent data shows that the economy has performed better than expected, with a 5.3% growth. That is in the real terms during the financial year 2022-2023, and compared to 4.6% growth. That is for the financial year 2021-2022, according to the latest GDP figures. Of course, when you're looking through that now. Recently, we still see that the Parliament approved the imposition of a 5% levy, that is on revenues earned by foreign digital companies like Facebook, Meta, Twitter, which is X lately, Amazon, and Netflix, according to the Commissioner, that is domestic taxes, Sarah Chalagan. But of course, government was able to collect 6 billion this financial year from these digital applications. Quite a positive improvement. In terms of that. Now, of course, in terms of international tax collections, there was a total of about 9.3 billion which was collected, which is slightly below the target. Now, this still shows a decent performance from that. Well, that is it for now. It's 25 minutes past 8. Now, Smart Beans Business takes a short break, and definitely we shall be returning with further business insights. Stick around.